Hi, I'm Rich Whitney, chair of the Independence Party of Illinois. Are you confused about the U.S. war on Iran? Well, you're in good company. The U.S. war in Iran has been very confusing for most Americans, since we have heard so many different versions about why it was launched, what the goals are, what the administration will do next, and even over whether it's over or how the administration expects it to end. But some facts are crystal clear. Let's summarize them. The President of the United States, that we collectively elected to office, one man, mind you, in what is supposed to be a representative constitutional democracy, made the unilateral decision to commit our military to go to war against yet another country that didn't attack us or even threaten to attack us and didn't have the means to attack us. This means that it was brazenly illegal under international law, our Constitution, the War Powers Act, and treaties to which our government is a party. Meanwhile, our corrupt and cowardly Congress, beholden to the same military-industrial complex and other corporate interests who favored the war, couldn't muster the votes to stop him. In fact, many leading Democrats, even though they criticize President Trump over just about everything he does, actually support the war, and some criticized him for agreeing to a temporary ceasefire. So as a result, our military killed or wounded thousands of Iranians and destroyed a bunch of stuff, committing war crimes by targeting civilians and infrastructure, which naturally caused Iran's military to retaliate, killing or wounding a bunch of people, including some of our own, and destroying a bunch of stuff, including infrastructure. This has caused global economic havoc, regional environmental havoc, and widespread human suffering and trauma. War is hell, and our government, in our name, has just brought hell to the Middle East. This war has caused widespread destruction of the very precious and finite commodity they were fighting over, a resource in which the entire world economy and the U.S. Treasury depends, namely oil, and the infrastructure needed to produce and ship it. In the process, the current administration threatened to destroy an entire civilization and openly stated that its chief method of diplomacy is war. It has further eviscerated international law and global political stability, caused most of the Iranian people to rally in support of their current repressive theocratic government all the more, instead of rise up against it, as our administration naively hoped it would. And now we're not only paying through the nose for every gallon of gas, we just spent well over $1 billion a day of our hard-earned taxpayer dollars to do all of this. And we've been asked to pay at least $200 billion more to make ourselves dramatically worse off than we were before the war. So that's the news about the war. Do you accept that news? Or do you want to do something about it? Do you want to make some news of your own, some good news for a change? If you do, then please hear me out. The American political system already has two war parties. What we need is a peace party. We need a party that will stand up against an executive branch of government that has become too powerful and too much under the control of the deep state and the war machine, regardless of which party controls the White House or the Congress. We also need a party that will stand up to end the domination of our government, not only by the military-industrial complex, but by monopoly corporations and banks, big pharma, big ag, and big oil. We need a party that will consistently stand up for genuine science-based public health and environmental health. We need a political party that will actually put America first and actually make America healthy again. We need a party that will consistently stand up for the First Amendment and other civil rights, for promoting economic policies that serve the interests of working people and small businesses, and support for free and fair elections. In Illinois, we have launched that political party, and it's called the Independence Party. And we need your help right now to get our candidates for governor and lieutenant governor, Gary Pierce and Alejandro Cabrera, on the ballot in Illinois in election 2026. Now, we're not expecting to win the governor's race, and we're not running to spoil the election. Frankly, I don't see how you can spoil a system that's already rotten to the core, but we're not trying to do that. If you're a diehard Democrat or diehard Republican, you're not going to vote for us anyway, and we know that. But if you're a true independent and are sick of only having, at most, two bad choices on the ballot election after election, and if you genuinely want to see real change, well, guess what? You're actually part of the fed-up majority of voters in Illinois and the United States. The problem is that you don't currently have a vehicle for getting more of what you really want out of government. We can be that vehicle, but to do that, we need you to help us get our candidates on the ballot. Then, if we collect enough petition signatures from Illinois voters to get on the ballot, then we need just enough of you to vote for them to get us 5% of the vote this November. If we get that 5%, then we become an established party in Illinois, just like the Democrats and Republicans. Only we are not like the Democrats and Republicans. We're a political party devoted to some real principles like the ones I just listed for you. But we would legally be an established party, which means that our candidates for other offices, including Congress, will be able to get on the ballot a lot more easily. True independent candidates who will really put America first and the public interest first, can then compete with the Democratic and Republican parties on a more level playing field. We can actually start getting those candidates elected to office and start making a difference. Please help us start making a difference right now by helping our petition drive. Go to indievoters.org or standwithgary.com, download our petitions, and help us collect signatures to get on the ballot. Even if you just sign the petition yourself and get just a few family and friends to sign, we can meet our goal if enough of you do that. If you can help us by collecting more than that, all the better. And if you live in the Metro East area in Southern Illinois, visit electcottingham.us and help our candidate in the 112th State Representative District, Andrew Cottingham, get on the ballot as well. If we want better government that will be more responsive to the actual needs of the people, we cannot expect the Democratic or Republican Party politicians to do it. If we want something done right, we need to do it ourselves. In this, the 250th anniversary of our nation's birth, it's time for the American people to rise up once again and take real control of what is supposed to be our government, so that it starts to serve us. We can finally have government of, by, and for the people, not government of the corporate monopoly prostitutes and kleptocrats, by the lobbyists, and for the billionaires. Thank you for listening.